where we're going to come handy. I want to believe that there might be some young minds or even other minds who might be thinking that it's the Garifuna side to sing hallelujah before the second reading. I truly want to appreciate and thank the leadership of this community, of this gracious culture, for all the minds, the elders, and the well-wishers who have remained resolute and persistent in celebrating this culture. Because it's important that you know that it is what you pass on that is going to live on. Amen? Amen. What you pass on is what is going to live on. So situations and occasions like this, the younger generations have cause to ask questions. They ask questions from what they see, from what they experience. Right now, and when it's when you answer, that is what generational knowledge is. As it's important that it's happening. Even living this part of the world, away from home, that you are able to continue to foster the value of the culture. Yes, somewhere along the line is not going to be the same or remain the same as it always been. Evolution, things change, society change. But we want to make sure that the value, the substantial values, is sustained and is only possible through occasions like this. I have admiration for these outfits and these flamboyant colors that speaks to life, that means something to the culture, to the celebration. And somebody asked and didn't able to explain the talking drums. That excitement had to be there. It is not easy to live through a culture, any culture at all, in the changing times. It is not easy because many things come to affect either the children away or even sometimes oppress and suppress. But you know, the culture is a way of life. Culture is a gift of God. Culture is a worship itself. So it's important that you understand it. And living through it, your Catholic faith is even more powerful. The messages of the gospel and our readings today is to react to what we're celebrating, from where we're coming from, to where we are today, and where we hope to be. There is a movement. It's ongoing. But in all things, it is not accidental that God has called you to this community. That you are part of this. Do not for any reason, in any way, think that you as an individual person, you don't have much to contribute in the building of our community. This is a mistake people make. We make that all the time, and eventually it leads to breakdown of community. Because one person thinks he or she is not already enough, he or she does not have a substantial contribution that will make any difference. And therefore you shut out, you shy away. And that one person, one good mind becomes a lie. And it has one other lie, one other lie, one other lie. The community is diminished. But when we hear the word of God speaks to us in our hearts and inspires you as an individual, that you have a private place in what's going on. You have a private place in what God has given to this community. You have a private place of where we're going as a people. And you do your part. Not that God sees on our part and makes us a beautiful whole. So those few words from the readings of today. That word from the third letter of St. John. And it says, please help others in a manner worthy of God. Help others in a manner worthy of God. What does that tell you? That there is some help that is not worthy of God. We have in my culture some kind of saying, it is difficult to explain proverb in English. That's one of the reasons I appreciate culture. As much as we try to translate, something gets messed up. So I appreciate what I speaking Garifuna. That language is hard. I saw the good before they become a last one word, and she went, oops. She did, but she didn't remember in a moment. Well, this cultural word, it's almost explaining that if you are going to offer, render a help to me in private, and before we even finish the presence, every person have known about it. Somebody is saying, if that kind of work you give me, that will leave me alone, let me suffer. That's the kind of expression this cultural word is. And somebody said, oh, I've been so helpful to this community. But what you've done is it self-serving or is it community oriented? So yes, it might be help. But the scripture says the help that God is asking us of is the help that is worthy of God. The assistance that you will give and it will please God. First, please God first. And then it please our brothers and sisters. That means God made the focus that you're doing things. And I think why this is so important. Because sometimes, and I don't know who here experienced something like that, you may offer help and assistance from the genuine heart, with sincerity of heart, and what you get in return is evil. What you get in return is ingratitude. It can be hurtful. And I've seen people turn away and give up simply because their good intentions and acts were not appreciated. Now it happens. But when we hear the word of God like today that asks us to do that in a way that God is pleased, so that even in those moments that you are being an agent of God's aim in bringing something good in the life of someone or the life of the community, so whether or not there is appreciation, you have the joy. Because deep within, you know that it is God. Because human beings are what they are. Sometimes we have ulterior motives in what we do. Sometimes we have clear conscience. But either way, there is no guarantee that some other person will see it the way that God sees it, or the way that you yourself sees it. But the bottom line second reading, the second letter of St. Paul to Thessalonians says, "For we did not act in a disorderly way among you." Paul speaking to this community, that we did not act in a disorderly way. Can you make such statements and sacrifice yet? When it comes to you in your personal life, you in your family, and you as a part of this community, this culture, can we say that my action is in such a way that it brings order to my life and order to those around me? And the climax of today's message for all of us is found in the gospel with Jesus' story, this parable about this widow. And the word of God makes so clear at the beginning that Jesus is telling this story to teach the apostles the need. Somebody said the need. The need to pray constantly. You can turn to somebody by your side, brother, sister. It is good that we are praying together this morning. Yes, some of you are looking at me and say, "You got someone by your side." By your side. It is good that we are praying together this morning. I think what happened at my church, some of the church. Pastor said, what are you thankful for? What are you praying for in this church right now? The woman said, "I am so thankful that I brought all my problems to God this morning." And she turned and looked at the husband and said, "Yes, that's what I'm talking about." I brought all the problems. That is what and part of what praise does for us. The first question that we ask, why is Jesus teaching of all people? The apostles, these people he handpicked for a mission of perpetuating this salvific mission that is come on this earth. And it will tell you that if the apostles were doing that, there was no need for Jesus to tell them to do whatever they're doing. So they are lacking in what is needed. They are lacking in what is needed. When we come to pray, we are surrendering to God that there are ways in which we are lacking. That we don't have all it takes to be the child of God that we are called to be. That's why you are a people that you are. That's why God has called you to the faith for which you profess. And that's why you are precious in the hands of God. Because there is a purpose of you and for you that God himself has made that you will fulfill. That you will fulfill. So Jesus is telling us in order to be able to fulfill the mission by God that we need to pray. And pray constantly. Pray constantly. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the master key.